We often look outside of ourselves to find our value. We try to prove our worth through achievements, recognition, or the approval of others. It can feel like we are always chasing something, whether it's a job promotion, praise from people, or a sense of belonging. But as we search for validation from the world around us, we might not realize that our true worth has always been inside us, waiting to be recognized. In Buddhism, we learn that self-worth is not something we need to earn. It is not dependent on our successes or failures, nor does it rely on the opinions of others. Instead, true self-worth comes from understanding that we are already enough, just as we are. This is a powerful realization because it helps us shift our focus from outside achievements to an internal sense of peace and acceptance. Imagine for a moment that you are not defined by your job title, your possessions, or the things people say about you. Instead, you are simply a person who exists in this world with your own unique experiences, struggles, and moments of joy. When we accept ourselves as we are, without the need for approval or comparison, we begin to feel more grounded. This acceptance allows us to live with greater ease and joy, without the pressure to always do more or be more. However, this does not mean we stop striving for growth. It simply means we recognize that growth does not come from a place of lacking, but from a desire to become the best version of ourselves. We don't need to prove anything to anyone. We are already enough. By understanding and accepting this, we can find peace within ourselves, regardless of what happens in the world outside. When we can truly believe that we are enough, we stop seeking validation from external sources and begin to live with a deeper sense of contentment. This is the foundation of a fulfilling life, a life where we no longer feel the need to measure our worth by anything other than who we are in this very moment. In life, we often have an image in our minds of what we should be like. We might imagine that we must always be strong, successful, or flawless in everything we do. Society often encourages us to strive for perfection, whether it's in our work, our appearance, or our relationships. However, this constant pursuit of perfection can leave us feeling tired, stressed, and disconnected from our true selves. The truth is that perfection is an illusion. No one is perfect. Each of us has flaws, weaknesses, and moments of doubt. These imperfections are not something to be ashamed of. In fact, they are a natural part of being human. Buddhism teaches us that it is through our imperfections that we grow, learn, and experience life more deeply. Without challenges, we would not be able to discover our true potential. When we let go of the need to be perfect, we free ourselves from unnecessary pressure. We no longer feel the need to live up to unrealistic expectations or compare ourselves to others. Instead, we can embrace the beautiful mess of being human. We can allow ourselves to make mistakes and learn from them without feeling like we are failing. In this way, we can accept ourselves fully, with all our strengths and weaknesses. This acceptance of imperfection brings peace. It helps us to relax and to be kind to ourselves. When we let go of the idea that we must always be perfect, we open ourselves to the possibility of simply being present, just as we are. We can enjoy life more fully, knowing that we do not need to prove anything to anyone. We are already complete, just as we are. So, let us release the burden of perfection. Let go of the expectations we place on ourselves and others. In doing so, we can find true freedom. And in that freedom, we can experience the joy and peace that come from simply being ourselves. In a world that often tells us we need more success, more possessions, more recognition, it can be difficult to feel content with what we already have. We are constantly encouraged to strive for the next big thing, to chase after new goals, and to never settle. However, true peace, comes not from constantly seeking more, but from appreciating what we already have. Buddhism teaches us that contentment is not about having everything we want, but about finding peace with what we have in the present moment. When we learn to live with contentment, we begin to see the beauty in the simple things in life: the warmth of the sun, the taste of a meal, the comfort of a quiet moment. These small things bring great joy if we open our hearts to them. Contentment comes when we stop measuring our lives by what we don't have. It is not about avoiding ambition or growth, but about understanding that we do not need more in order to be happy. We can find joy in the present without constantly looking for something else to complete us. In this way, we begin to live more fully, appreciating each moment as it is, without the need for more. Living with contentment also means letting go of the endless cycle of desire. Desire often leads to dissatisfaction, because once we reach one goal, another one appears. This cycle can make us feel as though we are always running, always striving, but never truly satisfied. When we live with contentment, we break free from this cycle. We find peace in knowing that we are enough, just as we are, and that the present moment is all we truly need. Contentment is not about giving up on our dreams, but about finding peace in the journey, rather than waiting for the destination. It is about appreciating the path we are on, trusting that we are exactly where we need to be. When we live with contentment, we let go of the need to chase after the future, and allow ourselves to experience the fullness of the present. As we reflect on the journey of learning to be enough, just as we are, it becomes clear that true happiness does not lie in becoming someone else or achieving some ideal version of ourselves. It lies in accepting ourselves fully, with all our strengths and imperfections. By embracing who we are in this very moment, we open the door to peace and contentment. When we stop chasing after an elusive ideal of perfection or success, we allow ourselves to simply be. We begin to experience life with greater ease, appreciating the present moment without the need for constant change or approval. In this way, we find that we are already whole and complete, just as we are. This journey is not always easy, and there may be times when we struggle to accept ourselves. But the more we practice self-compassion, and the more we remind ourselves that we are enough, the more we can live with a sense of peace and fulfillment. I am deeply grateful for your support in being part of this community. Your engagement, whether through likes, comments, subscribing to the channel, or sending super thanks, means so much. It is through your participation that we can continue to share these reflections and grow together. If these thoughts resonate with you, it would be wonderful to hear from you in the comments. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and may you continue on your journey with a deep sense of inner peace, knowing that you are enough just as you are.